Being a hitman, life and death is just part of the business. It's not personal.
The world of organized crime is often shrouded in mystery and myth, with tales of ruthless gangsters and shadowy operations capturing the public imagination. Yet, among these stories, few are as disturbing and fascinating as that of Rosalio Reta, a young man who became a hitman for one of the most powerful drug cartels in Mexico while still in his teens.
I was going on 13 years old the first time I took a life. It's just one day.
Reta's story is a harrowing tale of lost innocence, violence, and the devastating impact of the drug trade on young lives. This essay explores Reta's life, his induction into the world of crime, his activities as a hitman, and the broader implications of his story for understanding the human cost of the drug war. Rosalio Reta was born in Laredo, Texas, a border town that has long been a hotspot for drug trafficking and cartel activity. From a young age, Reta was exposed to the harsh realities of life on the border, where poverty, crime, and violence were commonplace.
I think they saw that scared, panicked look in my face and asked me if I had ever killed somebody. And I said I had, knowing that I had never took nobody's life. So he pulled out a handgun, told me to kill that person, the one kneeling in front of him.
His early years were marked by instability and hardship, which made him vulnerable to the allure of the criminal underworld. At just 13 years old, Reta was recruited by the Zetas, a notoriously violent cartel that was originally formed by former members of the Mexican Special Forces. The Zetas were known for their brutality and their use of young recruits to carry out their dirty work. For Reta, the cartel offered a sense of belonging and purpose that he had never experienced before. They provided him with money, power, and a sense of identity, which quickly drew him deeper into their world. Once recruited, Reta underwent rigorous training to become an effective killer. The Zetas training program was brutal and intense, designed to strip away any remnants of humanity and compassion. Reta was taught how to handle weapons, plan assassinations, and carry out murders with precision and ruthlessness. The training also included psychological conditioning to desensitize him to violence and death. Reta's transformation from a troubled teenager to a cold-blooded assassin was swift. He quickly proved himself to be a capable and efficient killer, earning the trust and respect of his cartel superiors. His youth and apparent innocence made him an ideal operative, as he could easily blend in and avoid suspicion.
Kept on seeing me around a lot. Like what I do, the way I do it. So I started coming up little by little.
As a hitman for the Zetas, Reta was involved in numerous murders and acts of violence. His assignments ranged from assassinating rival gang members to carrying out hits on individuals who had crossed the cartel.
Once you kill somebody, you assassinate somebody, it goes from, if it's nobody, $10, $20,000. But I wasn't doing all that. If you're a nobody, I don't want to know anything about it. The people who were taken out, it was like from 75, 125, 200, 250, all the way up to 400,000.
Each killing was carried out with meticulous planning and brutal efficiency, leaving no room for error or hesitation. Reta's life as a hitman was marked by constant danger and paranoia. He had to remain vigilant at all times, knowing that a single mistake could lead to his death.
It's almost all the same, but you don't practice with paper targets.
The constant threat of violence and betrayal took a heavy toll on his mental and emotional well-being, but he continued to carry out his assignments with unwavering loyalty to the cartel. One of the most chilling aspects of Reta's story is the ease with which he carried out his killings. He described feeling a sense of power and control during his murders, as if he were playing a game where he held all the cards. This detachment from the humanity of his victims allowed him to kill without remorse, turning him into a highly effective weapon for the cartel. Reta's criminal career came to an end in 2006 when he was arrested by U.S. authorities. At the time of his arrest, he was only 17 years old, but he had already been involved in at least 30 murders. His capture was a significant blow to the Zetas, as it exposed the extent of their use of child soldiers and brought attention to the brutal tactics they employed. During his trial, Retta cooperated with authorities, providing valuable information about the inner workings of the cartel and the methods they used to recruit and train young killers.
We'll give you your freedom. So these people, they're fighting for their lives. They throw you in there. Sometimes to them it's more, you'll give a knife to a person in a situation like that and you'll be surprised at what a person can do with it. Honestly, I didn't like that job.
His testimony helped to shed light on the dark world of organized crime and the exploitation of vulnerable youths. Retta was ultimately sentenced to 70 years in prison, a harsh sentence that reflected the severity of his crimes and the danger he posed to society. His imprisonment marked the end of his life as a hitman, but it also raised important questions about the broader issues of youth involvement in organized crime and the impact of the drug trade on communities. Rosalio Retta's story is a stark reminder of the human cost of the drug war and the ways in which organized crime preys on vulnerable individuals. His transformation from a troubled teenager to a ruthless assassin highlights the devastating impact of poverty, instability, and lack of opportunity on young lives.
They saw that scared, panicked look in my face and asked me if I had ever killed somebody. And I said I had, knowing that I never took nobody's life, so he pulled out a handgun, told me to kill that person, the one kneeling in front of him, and I just shot him.
Retta's story also underscores the importance of addressing the root causes of crime and violence, rather than simply focusing on punitive measures. Efforts to combat organized crime must include strategies to provide education, support, and opportunities for at-risk youth, to prevent them from being drawn into the world of crime in the first place. Moreover, Retta's case highlights the need for a comprehensive approach to tackling the drug trade, one that includes both law enforcement efforts and social interventions. The exploitation of children by cartels is a symptom of a much larger problem, one that requires coordinated efforts from governments, communities, and international organizations. The psychological toll and rehabilitation. While Retta's capture and imprisonment marked the end of his violent career, they also brought to light the profound psychological toll that his life as a hitman had taken on him. Years of exposure to extreme violence and the psychological conditioning he underwent left deep scars that would require extensive rehabilitation. In prison, Retta began to confront the full extent of his actions and their impact on his victims and their families. This process of reckoning with his past was a difficult and painful one, but it was also a necessary step towards rehabilitation. Retta's willingness to cooperate with authorities and share his experiences was a crucial part of his journey towards redemption.
Especially when it gets so bloody. But I've done it before. Yes, I have. I mean, I've done the simple stuff that everybody starts doing, pulling teeth out, cutting fingers up slowly, or...
Do you think you embraced it? Do you think you enjoyed what you did?
I didn't enjoy it, but I tried to be the best at what I was doing.
The story of Rosalio Retta also raises important questions about the potential for rehabilitation and reintegration of individuals who have been deeply involved in organized crime. While his crimes were severe, his young age at the time of his recruitment and the circumstances of his upbringing suggest that with the right support and intervention, there is potential for change. Rosalio Retta's story has significant implications for public policy and societal attitudes towards crime and punishment. His case highlights the need for policies that address the root causes of crime, such as poverty, lack of education, and social inequality. Efforts to reduce the influence of organized crime must include strategies to provide support and opportunities for at-risk youth, to prevent them from being drawn into criminal activities. Additionally, Retta's story underscores the importance of rehabilitation and reintegration programs for individuals who have been involved in crime. While punitive measures are necessary to ensure public safety, they should be balanced with efforts to support the rehabilitation and reintegration of offenders, particularly those who were recruited into criminal activities at a young age.
He made one brother kill the other one. He told him, look, only one of y'all is gonna live. So you have to kill him, or you kill him, so decide. I already knew that he was gonna kill the both of them, but he just wanted to not torture these people, not physically, but mentally. mess them up in the head to where one of them had to kill one another. They had to decide who's gonna die, who's gonna get to go home.
The exploitation of children by criminal organizations is a global issue that requires coordinated efforts from governments, international organizations, and civil society. Efforts to combat this problem must include measures to protect vulnerable children, provide education and support, and hold those who exploit and recruit children accountable for their actions. The story of Rosalio Retta is a chilling reminder of the human cost of the drug war and the ways in which organized crime exploits vulnerable individuals. His transformation from a troubled teenager to a ruthless hitman highlights the devastating impact of poverty, instability, and lack of opportunity on young lives. Retta's capture and imprisonment brought attention to the brutal tactics employed by cartels and the exploitation of child soldiers, underscoring the need for comprehensive strategies to combat organized crime. Efforts to address the root causes of crime and violence, provide support and opportunities for at-risk youth, and promote rehabilitation and reintegration of offenders are essential for reducing the influence of organized crime and protecting vulnerable individuals. Rosalio Retta's story serves as a stark reminder of the importance of these efforts and the need for a holistic approach to tackling the complex issues of crime and violence.